Hey everybody, Happy New Year. It's Tom Foster at Foster Web Marketing here with my buddy, the Tom Brady of Foster Web Marketing, Zach Stone.
Hi, everyone.
How's it going, Zach?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good, buddy. So we'll wait a few minutes while everybody gets on, and today is January 17th, 2017, and we're going to talk about some cool stuff, some traditional stuff. It's really how to set yourself up for success this year and beyond. So we appreciate everybody that's joining the call, and just some housekeeping things. We're here to answer your questions, but we're trying to get through this thing in 30 minutes. We appreciate your time. We know you're busy, so if you have questions, just type them in the question part of your go-to webinar control panel. Do they do it in the questions or the chat, Molly?
Questions.
The questions, okay. And so we'll see those and we'll answer them when appropriate or in an email afterwards. But let's go ahead and get going. Let's see how many people we got here. All right, very good. Okay, so I know some of you that are most likely on this call, but I don't see a list of names in my screen. So if you guys could just write in that, do they get the chat window on their thing? They get the chat? Anyway, it would be great if you guys just popped in there and told me who you are and where you're coming from, what part of the country, and just say hi so we know that you're there. And you can do that whenever you want, and we're going to go ahead and get started. But the point of this is to reiterate what you need to do to be a successful marketer online in 2017. So, oops. Here's what we're going to be covering today. And I'm going to be talking to Zach. He's my color man. The foundational elements of the marketing tree, and I'm going to go over what the marketing tree is. Another metaphor, I love metaphors. We love metaphors around here, and that's one that we're going to be utilizing quite a bit, and you should see that coming from us, and we got some pretty neat marketing that we're going to be doing and sharing with you guys, and how the tree plays, how the marketing tree works, the role of each root of the tree and how it impacts your business and your overall health of your marketing efforts. And so, if your tree is not producing or dying, you got a problem with your root system, and so we're going to go over each bit of that, and then really just kind of making the plan in the new year. And of course, we're here to help you. We're here to answer any questions. Obviously, this stuff works. This is what we do. And so here's our tree. Isn't it pretty?
Very pretty. Well designed.
This is a beautiful little designed apple tree with big juicy red apples, and really, you got cause and effect, and everything in the root system is what makes your tree produce fruit and beautiful apples, or whatever metaphor you want to use. But and we're going to identify each area of the tree and the root structure, and we're going to go into a little bit of detail in each one. So let's talk about, first of all, everybody's favorite topic, SEO, Zach, and we kind of combine those to local SEO because it's really the same thing that works for both, right? So let's talk a little bit about SEO. Tell me what people should be thinking about for SEO in 2017.
Yeah. So you're right. There's certain parts of local SEO that branch over into traditional SEO, but the whole idea is that you are a local business providing a local service, and when people search for those terms, you want to show up. Years ago, Google had 7 local results, and when people search for things like car accident lawyer in Milwaukee or podiatrist in Denver, but today it's just a 3-pack. So there's only 3 people in your local area that are going to show up for those local search results. You need to make sure that your name, address, and phone number are consistent. We've talked about this 100 times, but Yext is a great tool to make sure that your information is consistent across the board. If you do realize that you've got some kind of local issue, whether you've got an old address out there, phone number, or it's merging with another listing or creating duplicates, definitely contact us to help you with that, because we have a partnership with Yext. We can provide their highest level of service for essentially half the price, and also include duplicate suppression. So if they find that you've got 2 or 3 listings on yellowpages.com, we're able to identify the 2 that we don't want to show up and block them from showing up on those websites. So it's a really great tool. It makes things nice and consistent. But another big thing is that if you have multiple office locations, you want to use your office landing pages as the website for those
That's a great point,
listings.
Zach. So instead of linking to the home page
over and over again,
over and over from everywhere, you want to link to that internal office page.
Yeah, because people might be searching for not just car accident where in Atlanta, but they might be searching for your office in Atlanta.
Right.
So if they land on that page, you want to have clear calls to action, embedded map. We have a feature in DSS that allows you to actually pull your Google reviews into that map. If you go to your office page on your website and you don't have a map that has your Google reviews, we can show you how to do that pretty quickly. There's also help information on our website about that as well. But that's definitely a really important thing to do. You're not setting up your local profiles for all your offices to send to just the home page. You want to make sure it goes to the most appropriate page on your website, which would be your office page for that.
Now, Zach, you said this DSS. For the listeners that are here that aren't clients that don't know what DSS is, or maybe even some clients that don't know what DSS is, which would be a crime and a shame, and you should be ashamed if that's the case. Why don't you tell them real quick what DSS is?
Yeah, so DSS is our website management, client relationship management tool. It's got a lot of great features in there that help you manage your web marketing in one centralized location, but it takes a lot of the guesswork from the technical SEO standpoint out of it. We make sure that the system is set up so that you just have to worry about writing great content and making sure that you're distributing that content consistently over time, and making sure that you're writing to your perfect client and getting all the relevant information to your potential clients on your website quickly and efficiently. DSS lets you track your leads and know where they're coming from, and
so it's software that you can use.
The guesswork out of it. Yep.
And we'll teach you how to use it. All right, so that's great, and that's a great point about connecting your local to particular office pages, especially if you have multiple offices.
Yeah.
Really important. You don't want to confuse Google, and that's what he was talking about there about getting Yext and making your name, address, and phone numbers consistent, because any deviation or any problem or any inconsistency will cause your competitors' websites to come up before you. That's the reason why you want to make sure that your stuff is working. Backlinks, buddy. All right, this is a great topic. Everybody loves to talk about backlinks. So give us the quick
scoop.
Yeah, on backlinks. Like, how do we explain it to these folks?
Yeah, so the internet is just one big online popularity contest, and that's what backlinks are. They're votes for websites that people trust and have good information on them. So when you're doing local SEO, the more local listings you're on, the more links you have to your website. But a lot of those links are what are known as no-follow links, so that companies don't spam the internet. But what you want to do on top of getting those local listing links is authoritative quality links to your website on industry sites, like if you're an attorney, Justia or Avo, if you're a doctor on Health Grades, WebMD, ZocDoc, and it's essentially one of the hardest things to do well, but one of the most important parts of your online marketing, and it's really what sets the big dogs apart, because if you think about the bigger a law firm or business gets, the more backlink opportunities they have, the more practitioners they have in the office, the more opportunities for community involvement and everything else. We do have a really cool new link earning tool, as we like to call it. That's a PR media outreach tool that we are using to help some of our service clients gain new high-quality links on a variety of different websites. It's PR outreach, so we're just trying to get references to your website based on a topic or an area that you serve. If you want to learn more about that, you can contact us, and we can put you in touch with them. But it's a great company. Their publicity.ai is the tool. We can set you up with that and help you determine what your target should be based on your...
And this is not buying links. This is not old school buying links from anywhere. This is actually, they're a great service because they have a team of writers. It's a very cool concept, and I don't want to get into it here, but it's like kind of like the Uber concept, where they have got all these writers out there that are getting blog comments and getting links back from really good articles out there. And so the idea is that you pitch a piece of content and you pay for the quality of the link and all this, right, Zach?
Yeah, exactly. So essentially what they've done is create a referral network of PR outreach people. So they're taking the content on your website and the phrases that you want to target and doing outreach to blogs, publications, news websites, and finding opportunities and pitching opportunities for those writers on those websites to include you in an article that they're going to write, or add you to something that they know they're going to write already. So It's a really targeted, good approach. It's very hard to do this stuff, and they've developed a really great system to make sure that it's both white hat and getting links from really authoritative websites.
Yeah, we've been vetting it for a while, and they turned into, in a pretty short time, to be a pretty good partner for us and helped a lot of our clients already. Okay, reviews. And, I mean, nobody talks more about, he's the minister of reviews and reputation management. And so, Zach, talk to me a little bit. I know we're going to show some screens here, but why do we always talk about reviews like very early on?
Yeah, because one of the big things that everyone knows is that the majority of their cases or clients are coming from referrals. Online is just one big referral source. So it doesn't matter if you're the best attorney in the world. If there aren't people online talking about how you are the best attorney in the world, no one's going to know about it. When they search for your service in your local area or for your brand name, even if they're searching for your name, they're looking for reviews, they're still vetting you out. If you got a referral from someone, they're still going to do their research. It's incredibly important both to build trust, help improve conversion rates, and there are ranking benefits because your local listings will improve in ranking based on the reviews that you get through Google and Yelp and all that stuff.
Yeah, and because people, you know, search for what? They search for your brand. I mean, even if they did some kind of vanity search and they found you, if they do Virginia personal injury attorney and Ben Glass comes up, then they're going to search for Ben Glass by his name and get his reputation. That's what we're all looking at.
And it's just like any other service business. The best, I grew up in a bed and breakfast, so I know the hospitality industry well, and it's a very important part of the hospitality industry. Restaurants understand that. When you go to a restaurant or you're looking for a restaurant, you're looking for reviews. I don't even really take time to look at restaurants that have less than 3.5, 4 stars. So think about your interactions online and how you vet service companies and kind of get an idea of how your potential customers will do the same thing for you.
Yeah, and just another thing about this is a journey. I mean, like it's not, you're not going to just do it one day and like go ask everybody for a review. This needs to be a part of your process. This needs to be a part of your intake process. Your, you know, when you close the case, or you know, a client leaves or a patient leaves, you want to make sure that you, and there's multiple ways to set it up. We don't have time to get into actual processes, but if you need help or need to understand how to get reviews, we can help you with that. So what are we looking at here on this screen?
Yeah, so this is an example of a client who really started to focus on reviews. You can see that in 2016, that was one of their goals. They really started to hit the ground running with gaining reviews in May, and they saw some really great results in both their local traffic, their leads, and their visibility. This is a screenshot from our new DSS reputation management tool. That's an add-on feature for DSS. We are just starting to roll this tool out, but it is pretty awesome.
It's fantastic.
It's the feedback tool that's in DSS on steroids. So you're going to be able to track your reviews that come in, generate new reviews, find brand mentions online with daily, weekly notifications.
DSS will inform you through this tool when people are talking about you online, right? As soon as somebody adds anything about you, we're going to let you know, and that way you can address it. You can, if it's a bad thing, you can go there and try to make it right. Or if it's a good thing, you can go thank them and send them a note or whatever. But this really monitors your brand out there.
Yeah, and we're
it's very cool.
Yeah,
I love it.
So we're rolling that out, and it's an additional tool on top of the DSS that's going to be integrating with DSS in the near future. But if you want to start gaining new reviews and have a really good consistent process and be notified when your reviews are coming in, let us know. The tool is called the DSS Reputation Management Tool.
Yeah, and we used it ourselves. As a matter of fact, we were just talking about this. We talk about it all the time, but yesterday we had it kind of starts with asking for feedback. You ask for feedback because you want to know what you're doing wrong, what you could do better. So if you get good feedback and it's like a 4 or 5, then you get, ask for a review, or you're going to ask your client for a review. So we went through this yesterday, and we got somebody posted some negative feedback about a particular system in DSS and about how they went through it. And so, of course, you're like, what's that? But then, we talked about it, and depending upon what the issue is, you can send that information to a department to get better. So it's great to hear feedback from prospects, from clients on how to get better. So that's how we've improved so much already, right, Zach? I mean,
yeah. You don't know what you don't know.
Right, you don't know.
And
right.
You need to get negative feedback as much as you need to get positive reviews online, because you can't fix what you don't know is broken. So this client really started to focus on reviews in May, and they got a ton of good quality Google reviews through a really consistent process. But during this time, if you go to the next slide, they are in the process of, over the course of the next 6 months, you might receive an email similar to the one you see on the right, asking for your feedback about us, and we're baking this into all of our processes and our feedback loops. So you want to get feedback from everyone. The reason is you're giving them an opportunity to get something off their chest that didn't go well for them or that frustrated them if you ask for it. If you don't ask for it, they're more likely to go to a review site and leave a negative review. So by asking everyone, you're going to both get positive reviews consistently over time, and you're going to avoid getting negative reviews by getting negative feedback as opposed to a negative review. And the reason that happens is that we've got a conditional response to this email template that we have set up. So if they say that they would recommend us to a friend, we're going to send them to a landing page that thanks them and prompts them to leave a review on the websites that we want to gain a review on. For us, it's Google, Facebook, and Yelp. For you, it might depend on how many reviews you have in different areas already. But if they say no, then they're being sent to a page where we're the meal, during the middle of your meal, the manager is often going to come around and ask you how everything's going. They do that because they're trying to stop you from having a negative experience and walking out the door with that negative experience.
True. Yep.
They're trying to make it better then. So this is your opportunity to make it better, and you might even get a review because you made it better. Yep. But if you don't take the time to ask and get that information, you're never going to know, and you're never going to get better.
And you don't, if you're a big firm, like if it's just you, that's one thing. But if you're in a big firm and you got all these people working for you, any one of those people could mess you up. So this is your opportunity to fix it. If you got somebody that's on intake that's consistently a problem, then this is your opportunity to retrain them. Because the customer's experience is the battleground. That's really where it's not about how pretty you are. It's about their experience with you all along the way.
I guarantee you, if you go to Google, Facebook, or Yelp and look at the reviews for your business, you are not going to see reviews about how much money they won or lost. It's all about how you treated them.
Right.
And so if you're going to get good reviews, it's not because you got a really big settlement for someone. It's because they had a really great experience working with you and they like you and working with your company. So be mindful of that. It's not about how much money they won or how they're feeling after their doctor's visit. It's about the experience they had during that whole process. So make sure that it's a positive one and you're getting that feedback as you go.
And don't try to trick the system. Be authentic. I've heard lots of little tricks and scams and whatever, attorneys reviewing each other and all that kind of stuff. If you can't get a good review from clients, you need to look at your whole business, because this is something that you have to do. Don't ask that's fine to have a few of them in there, maybe co-counsel relationships or whatever, but just to get reviews, just to get better SEO placement is just another way of tricking or black hatting in a different kind of way.
If you work at the business, do not leave a review for the business.
Right.
Google can spot that in a lot of situations and ding you, and you don't realize it's an issue until a year's gone by and you've dropped your business by half.
It's not hard to do it. It's just tedious. So don't cheat, because it's harder to fix. All right, we got to roll because we only got a few more minutes, Zach. So client experience, we just talked about that, really.
Yep, and that plays right into intake.
Yeah. So intake.
It's very similar to the client experience. You want to make sure that they know what they're getting, when they're getting it, and what the process is going to be. If they're uncertain about what the next step is, they're going to feel that uncertainty, and they might go and talk to more attorneys or doctors. So make sure that it's consistent. People are interacting with them in a good way right off the bat, and they know what to expect.
And then follow-up processes here.
Same thing. So they fill out a contact form on your website. You thank them, send them a thank you email. You follow up with them. Do not let leads that come through your website and your marketing get stale. If someone reached out to you, they're expecting a response. Even if they aren't your perfect client, they could know someone who's your perfect client. You help them out. We have clients who've had reviews just because of the helping hand that they gave to people when they weren't able to help them, but they knew someone that could. So do not ignore leads. Help those leads, and they could turn into a referral down the line, or many referrals. You never know who that person is.
You paid for those leads in one way
you
or
spent
another.
a lot of money on
to get
it.
them, so make the most of them. All right, so we talked a little bit about intake. Let's talk a little bit more, because this is the biggest mistake that we see across the board, is you do all this work to generate traffic, whether you're doing online content, organic, all the stuff that we've talked about, pay-per-click, offline, TV, print, all these things driving traffic and to your website or to your brand, and then they contact you. What happens?
Yeah. So you need to know exactly what's going to happen. You need to have processes in place. If people aren't sure, then there's going to be miscommunication, and the interaction is not going to be positive. They need to know what the next steps are. They need to be responded to promptly. We're in a new digital world. If you don't respond to them within a couple minutes, they're going
gone.
to contact someone else.
Yep.
If you get chat leads or contact form submissions and you're not following up with them for a day, you're not gonna get in touch with them. They can reach out to someone else. You're not a hot commodity at that point. They try to reach out to you. You weren't responsive. That's indicative to how you would handle their case. This is the first experience they're having with you. Make it a good one. You never know when that lead is going to turn into one of those big multi-million-dollar cases.
You got to pay attention. So if you have other people answering the phone, DSS records the conversations. If they're chatting, we transcribe all the chats, whether it's Engage or Apex or whatever we're using. That all works in DSS. And so if you're having trouble with intake, and a lot of law firms and doctors' offices and business in general do, and so these are some great companies that we work with and integrate with us that I could not recommend more. Is Alert Communications. They do intakes primarily for lawyers. They're really good at it. All their responders are trained taught for empathy, or go to empathy school or something. I mean, you can talk to Alert about their process, but everybody that we've referred over there is great success. Captora's software for intake and case management. You could check that stuff out on your own, but those are some great places to start for intake if you're having some trouble there.
Yep.
Okay, so what's this? These are some other things we talked about in our root system. So the architecture of your website, that's your code, right?
Yeah, so for DSS users, we've kind of handled this for you. You don't have to worry about this stuff. We are constantly improving. Every couple of years, it's good to look at getting a redesign of your website, because design standards change. We're able to clean up some of the back-end code, and we can always make improvements, especially if it's been 2 or more years. I'd highly recommend reaching out to us for a redesign.
Yeah, I mean, like a 2015
coding,
website can't beat a website built today. Just like, improvements in every technology. Your newer iPhones are better than the iPhone 5. And if they're all things being equal compared to each other, the newer one's going to win. And same thing is true of, like, I know WordPress out there, very popular. CMS and website builder. I get it. It's cheap. It's easy. It works great for most people. But all things being equal, our system will beat a system on WordPress. You look at, I say this all the time, WordPress is a lot like a Honda kit car. Hey, no problem. That Honda will get you where you want to be, but it's not going to beat a Ferrari, and that's what we've got. Ferrari system all the way up and down. And we're making even more improvements. Our next version 4 coming out. Yeah, I think that it's hopefully Q1. My website, Zach and I are waiting for that next version to come out, because that's going to be like so fast. We've already seen tests where it just blows. It's like 99% or something. It just blows.
It's really awesome what we're doing.
And it's all responsive. That's the other thing that you have to think about, is responsive to multiple platforms, to multiple operating systems, browsers, mobile, tablet, and it's the world out there is changing, and we're just helping you keep up with the world.
And one thing to keep in mind, speed is becoming more and more of a factor, and the way that DSS works is we give you full control of your website and what you add and update. So if you've added images to your practice area that aren't compressed and are being pulled to your homepage, or you've pulled a bunch of images on your homepage, check to make sure that it's not dragging your site down. Because when we launch our sites, they're all within the 90s for speed. Search for page speed insights in Google. It'll be your first result. Put in your domain there. It's going to look at the homepage speed or whatever page you put in, and if the site is mobile friendly.
What's a good grade?
With 80s are good. You want to be in the 90s. We can get everyone in that range.
For desktop and mobile, there's two scores.
Yeah.
And that has to do with code, image sizes, lots of different things. So go ahead and throw your website in there and see what score you get. And if you're not happy with it, you want somebody to look at it, let us know.
Yeah, and if you have a DSS website, it's likely, if it has a low score, it's because of big images that have been, and there could be code,
right, or
stuff,
images.
But there's definitely areas to improve.
Yeah, we can look at it. Okay, content, my favorite subject. The foundation of this company is built on content and why DSS was born. But give me your perspective. Why did you list these three things as for content, Zach?
Yeah, because you shouldn't be writing content for content's sake. You should be writing content for the user's sake. So if you find yourself writing a piece of content that a normal user wouldn't, or a potential client would not find helpful or necessary, or if you're targeting a phrase that when you search for it in Google, there's another piece of content or a couple pieces of content that rank really well that your piece is just not as good as, move on to something else or write it better. This is a way for you to provide answers to the questions that your potential customers have, and you want to make sure that it's quick, easy to read, but in-depth enough that they can get the information that they want, or will help you improve in your organic rankings, because the depth of content is really important, as well as the readability.
Zach, I think we have a question.
We do. We have a really good question. Someone asked if we can do an assessment of a law firm's marketing and advice on what to do differently, and I'm sure you'll get there, but...
Yeah.
Yep, yes, we can. Is that it? We'll get to that at the very end on how to do that. All right, so content. Are you done? I was just going to throw something else in there. One of my favorite pieces of content today, because you pointed out you don't want to write content for search engines, you want to write content for people, thinking about that. My advice to everybody is start with the most popular questions that you get that you're bored of, but everybody asks you all the time. People go online to ask questions. So get off the hamster wheel of vanity keywords, whatever, personal injury lawyer, whatever, and start focusing on answering people's questions, and you'll get much better cases and much better leads.
And go back and review it over time.
Yeah.
If you wrote an FAQ 3 years ago that answers information about progressive insurance claims, go back, review it, update it, add more information, make it easier to read, and make it fresh. Over-optimize it, which it probably is. Yeah.
So that's one great way to get good content out there with good traffic. And also case stories. Notice I didn't say case results. All lawyers go to like big dollars, and that's not really okay, sure, that's important to you, and that might be important to some people, but it's more important that you write the story of what happened. People love lawyer stories. That's why we have so many books, TV shows, movies about the law. So go out there and write your favorite stories about your favorite cases. You may have lost the case, but the point is that you're telling the story of what happened. And maybe you would like other cases like this that even though you lost that one, that is positive, real, organic content that Google loves.
Yeah, and I find when I look at case results or case stories that seem to perform really well, it's a lot of tire kickers, because it's just like, oh, it's just this big number that people are looking at. But if you tell the story and it's less focused on the number and more focused on the experience and what happened and how you helped, it's just like reviews. Yeah. It's not about the amount, It's about how you helped and the feeling you left someone with. So if you can get a picture with you and the client, if you can get a video testimonial to go along with your case story, even better. The more mediums you can use to promote that story, the better it's going to be.
Yeah, and and the quality of that particular person that goes to that page will be better than somebody that's responding to a $9 million verdict.
And it's, again, just like any piece of content, it's quality over quantity. If you are writing 4 so-so case stories a month, try focusing on one really good one.
Right. And listen, this works. We do it for our own clients and our own service. We wouldn't tell you to do this if it didn't work. And you could go back and reference cases that you did 20 years ago. It doesn't matter. You can even say that. Okay, social media. Everybody loves social media. So why do we do social media, Zach? Why do we have that as a root?
Yeah, so social media in the context that we're talking about it is managing your brand. A lot of people go to social media to tweet, message, and comment on brands when they have issues, or if they are trying to get in touch with them. You want to make sure your social media is up to date and speaking to what you're actually doing, and not focused on, hey, call us, hey, call us, hey, call us, hey, call us. It's all about providing information, interesting information. Use your most interesting pieces of content to promote on social media, and just be active enough that people are know that you are monitoring those areas.
And be authentic to yourself.
And be social.
Yeah, be comfortable. I mean, some people are just not comfortable doing it. Whatever, that's fine. You should become more comfortable doing it, especially more millennials that are out there hiring lawyers. They're on social media and not anywhere else. Okay, so what do we mean by here? The health of your marketing efforts, Zach?
So great question earlier. We can give any law firm, any medical practice, a free, quick snapshot analysis of their online presence and reputation, and we'll have a little bit more information on that in a second, but we also have the new DSS reputation management tool that's going to allow you to get new reviews over time and monitor your brand's mentions and reviews that come in. That's going to be a really great way to monitor the health of your marketing efforts. Do some secret shopping, call your firm, call your practice, ask the questions that you think your intake people should be able to ask, and see how the process is. If you don't know what it's like for customers, then how do you know it's good? Content audits, we've got some good content about content audits on our website, but if you've got old, outdated content, over-optimized content, thin content, it's going to be dragging you down. You need to go back and review it and make it better, like we were talking about earlier.
Like spring cleaning.
Yeah. And backlink earnings. So we talked about this in depth earlier, but publicity.ai is a great new PR media outreach tool that we endorse, and if you want to talk about backlink earning and how you can do that, reach out to us. We'll get you set up with them. Social media analytics, website analytics and analysis. You can get a lot of information in DSS. If you don't work with us, or if you just want an idea of how things are going, we can do a snapshot analysis. We're going to look at your social media profiles and how active you are there, if you have them. So we're looking at Facebook, Google, Twitter, and Foursquare in the
This is just a piece of the snapshot that they're going to get,
Yeah, these
right?
are just like little areas that we pulled out. We're going to look at how accurate your listings are, and we're going to compare you to benchmarks in your industry. So if you're a lawyer, we're comparing you to other lawyers. If you're a doctor, we're comparing you to other doctors. And then we're looking at reviews.
So this is a quick snapshot of this overall thing. This is not a complete deep dive or a complete analysis. This is just an easy, quick thing just to see if you got a problem.
Yeah, and we can do a more in-depth analysis later on, but that's the first step, is to get that snapshot.
All right. Well, we've been trying to do this in 30 minutes, and it's probably because I'm on the call that it took longer. So the answer to the question was, how do you find out how you're doing? So go to fwmanalysis.com. That's fwmanalysis.com. And just fill out that quick little form, and we'll put an analysis together for you and send it out, and then that's how we can get started. That doesn't cost anything. And then that'll tell you some of the most first areas to focus on first, what's urgent. And then we went through that whole root system, focused on one root at a time, and that's kind of how we're going to be doing these webinars. We're going to get into more depth on each one of the root systems. Some of it meet like, oh man, we're talking about content again. Well, content is king, and it's how you do your content, and it does change. So how you do it, the specifics of how you do it, the strategy of how you do it. And something that we're reintroducing, we've got our March, our academy. So some of you remember the FWM Academy from years ago, or our boot camp. We're doing it different. We're having it in March, and we're holding it for 20 people because we're doing it right here at FWM headquarters in Fairfax, Virginia. We've got like 10 people signed up so far. We only really have 10 slots left. These are for people that want to learn how to do it. We're going to teach you how to do this root system. So if you'd like to come, we still have an early bird price.
Till Friday, yep.
Till Friday.
Yep.
For what? How much, Molly?
It's $600 off, so it's $697 until Friday.
Yep. So you got till Friday. So go to fwmacademy.com if you want to come see us. You're going to be, it's like a classroom environment for 2 days where you're going to learn directly from us on the concept of how to do things, the strategy of how to do things, and then implementation right in DSS. So it is on the job training. Some bonuses, we're going to have Michelle Davis here from Davis Law Firm out in Seattle, who's like amazing, has been with us for 10 years and knows DSS in and out. We can thank her for a lot of the cool features in DSS. Her firm is Giant, her and her husband's firm. And we'll also have the one and only most entertaining, lovely man, Dave Freeze, who will hypnotize you and entertain you and make you a really good marketer. He will share with you some of his processes for intake. I can tell you myself that Zach, Molly, and I, and the salespeople, we sat with Dave a few months ago about his process, and it is fantastic. So we've implemented a lot of those ourselves. So we hope to see you there, FWM Academy. We're going to start trying to put these on more frequently, but sign up so we can see you in March. All right, I think we're done. Do we have any questions, Molly?
No, a lot of people just checking in, saying hi, and then wanting to know about the analysis. So thanks, guys, so much.
Thank you, everybody, for joining the call. Of course, we'll send out the presentation, the materials. You can get the podcast download of this. Share this with your friends. Share this with other smart entrepreneurs and business owners that you think that can benefit from a company and service like us. And Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. Good job, Star Power.